All right, everybody can see?
Yes, sir.
Good. All right, so everybody, let me go through this and tell you the purpose and basically what we're going to be doing. Okay, so I've done this model, right, and I'll just give you guys some history and tell you why this works. So basically, I was telling Griff that what I did with the investments when everybody as far as was investing in the stocks and different things like that, and when it was introduced, I basically took the approach of everybody else and just kind of invested the same way. So, and that was from the beginning when they came to the jobs. We set up the account. I met with my brokerage, and we took it from there. However, about probably like 6 to 7 years ago, probably 7 years ago, there was within my job change and my position change where basically my outlook on things and perspective on what my job is was a little different. So because I have to deal with research and data and analysis, I framed the whole concept and I knew that I could use that for the stocks to be successful. So it makes it a little bit easier to identify some stocks that will more than likely will grow up based on the research that we do. So as a result of that, I had started forming teams. So I have another team that actually I showed them pretty much this model, and they've taken off and they do it all the way, and it's a very successful plan. So I told Griff for the longest, I said, man, I gotta make some time and sit with our group to make sure we have it formed because it's the easy way. So the problem is that with the stock market, there's a lot of stocks out there and it's too many to watch. So even though you may have some in your watch list, but it's still a lot to put your eyes on. So you need a team. Now we have the Sunday night stocks, which is perfect, nothing against that. But you still need smaller groups. And with each of these smaller groups, you can be on a concentrated stock list and you can just watch the goals and watch how that stock move. The catch to it is you have to know the particular stock. Once you know it, it becomes easier to be able to do an option trade on it to make a few bucks. Now, will it be successful every time? No, we'll never say that to you. However, you heighten your chances of being successful because what you're doing is you're using a system, using basically a mathematical system to work. So what we have here basically is our goal. Let me move this out of the way. All right. It's accumulate ongoing financial gain using option trading. Even if you don't know how to do it, it doesn't matter. What me and my man K will do, Kevin, we will look at certain option trades and I'll pretty much look in and say, hey, listen, this will be a good play for you to make. Now, the amount that you put in is totally up to you. That's not something that I'm going to tell you to say, hey, listen, you need to spend $800. You need to spend $1,000. Not going to tell you to do that. One of the options plays may be $80 for the week. So then as a result, I may say, hey, listen, after we talk, we'll send out a message and say, hey, you guys, you may want to get on this option play, purchase this at this time, blah, 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 and you go from there. If you don't want to do it as an option play, which you don't have to, you can do it as shares. But again, that's just totally up to you and where how comfortable you are with your finances and how you feel like taking that chance and that risk. Okay. All right. The next one. Why am I saying one more? Okay, there we go. All right. So this is how we're gonna do. We work as a collaborative team, and then group members, you will share our stock information over a secure network or a phone contact. So the only thing that you're gonna do is we're gonna have each other's numbers within this circle. Okay. Now, when we're gonna identify one stock, we can start at one. I know me and Griff, I think we said two is the most, right, Griff?
Yes, sir.
Okay, two being the highest that I would recommend, that we would recommend that you should actually look at. But if there's one particular stock that you know, today the job is for you to find that one stock that you know right to left. And I'm gonna get into that in a second. So when you know that particular stock, that means you know how that stock moves. So for example, if I know that I've researched a particular stock, I've studied it, and I know exactly where the price points is, where the entry points is, I can get in at the right time. Now, there's two ways to do it. Some people use the computer charts because sometimes the computer chart will tell you it's a good time to get in, good time to get out, and they have programs and software like that. But because we're not really day trading like that, and because we're doing it over a swing, it may not be to your advantage to do that, because it may tell you to sell an hour from now, and yet we may have a conversation and we may say, you know what, that stock can go up a little bit more. Okay. So, and I'm going to show you an example of that, shortly. All right. So again, that gets us to the task. So each member will have an assigned role to watch their spotlight stock for dips. That is the only thing that we're asking you to do. So basically, I'm going to put the steps up so that way we'll know. Basically, you're going to look at that particular stock. When you look at the stock, you're going to basically tell us through a text message if you see that that stock has moved down to a point that we should buy into it in terms of our option trade. So if a stock is currently, let's say, at $40 and it dips to about 31, but you've seen that stock, of course, progress at the 45, at the $40 mark, and it's been that way consistently for a year, and there's really no new news to tell you why that stock has dropped that much, just for simply, there've been a few things that's happened in the market itself. Then that's when you would send that text message to the group, and you would say, hey, great chance to buy SNX. It's $30 right now. It has a great chance of getting to 35 in about a week or two. So then what you do is you would buy that stock on an option trade, and that stock that going from $30 to $35, you're going to make a nice little profit. Again, depending on how much you wager and how much you put in there, you may still make about $700-800, a few hundred, or even a few $1,000s off of that one particular stock. Now, if you do the math on it, if it's 8 of us or 9 of us, and let's say periodically every week, there's about 2 or 3 of us that identify a stock that had a great dip. Now, if you do the math and you're making about $800 off of each one, and there's 8 of us, that's an easy, $6,400 return within a month time frame, just off of you sharing information. Okay. So I put this little slide in for if you need in terms of, I guess, an example of how to do the research to a degree. We always use SWOT, and we always have a SWOT analysis. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, but SWOT is a very popular business model that most people use when they're looking at certain businesses and other functions, where you look at the strength of a stock, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. So we usually do that within each of my particular school sites that I may visit, where I'm looking at the strength of a program, where the weaknesses, where the opportunities that will make it grow, because that can be a starting point for your research itself. So you may look at a stock and you'll say, okay, here's gap. What are the strength and gap? You're looking at the type of stores that it owns, who it caters to, the market, the partnerships, the Kanye West brand that's being added. So now, as a result of that, and I look at the opportunities that it has to grow, having just signed or potentially looking at $1 billion deal with him, those are the things that I'm looking at. So now I'm looking at that stock and I'm studying it all the time. And when I'm saying studying all the time, I don't mean like you're looking at your phone 24 hours a day. What you're doing is you're noticing how the stock moves. So for example, if a stock is, like I said, $30, but you notice at about 10 o'clock, it's been going down from at 10 o'clock to about 30 cents. That's information that you kind of know for yourself. So if it do drop like that, you're not the person that's panicking. So then you're like, okay, no, you guys, it'll be fine. It's going to drop around this time. And it's going to pick up. So take ChargePoint, which is another stock that Griff like. That's one of his babies. With ChargePoint, for me studying and doing a deeper analyzing ChargePoint. ChargePoint is not a stock that moves very quickly in one particular day. She's not going to jump $3-4. Normally, that's not her pattern. Now, she may move about $1, $1.20, but she doesn't have these massive jumps. So as a result, if she falls, I have to factor that into my time frame of when she's going to get back up. ChargePoint, for example, if she drops to about 20, it may take her between a week to a week and a half to probably get to that 25. It's going to come anywhere in that price point. So if she drops to 20, I'm not going to tell the group to buy it now to sell it for tomorrow, thinking she's going to get the $25, because I know the stock now pretty well. And I'm saying, you're going to lose that way. Okay. So that's just some of the things that you have to look at. So again, just the steps here. Okay. So the step one, you identify the spotlight stock. Okay. Whatever that spotlight is, you find that spotlight stock that you're going to research. I would say pick something that you already know right now. And once you pick that, we'll go around and everybody eventually, if not today, not to pressure you today on it or putting you on the spot. It may be on Saturday, we kind of reconvene, we talk about it, and you just let us know what stock you're going to be looking at. Okay. And like I said, I would suggest that you pick a stock that you already know very well. Maybe you've already done the research on. You want to select something. I mean, if you want to do a whole new research, I'll do a slide with you and I'll get with you on different ways that you can research it. Just totally up to you. But if not, you will use that stock, and that's going to be the one that you're going to look at. You put that up high on your wish list or wherever your focus list is, and that's the one you're going to concentrate on only. Okay, we're not asking you to do anything else. Now, once you do that, if you have to do step two, you will conduct the research. But if you already have the research and you know how she moves, then you're fine. Okay, so then you'll be pretty much at step three. That's when you're going to look for the patterns. And this is very important. So the patterns, again, going back to it, if the stock is at 30, you're looking to see how it's moving in the course of a day. When she moves, does she goes from 30 to 33? On one day, is she volatile? And then the next day she drops from 33 to 27. How does she move? Does she go from $30 on at 9 o'clock and you notice at 12 o'clock she's at $30.01? She's just one of those that don't move that fast. You have to know that part. Okay. Now, once you know exactly how it's going to move and how it moves, that's when, if you see that dip, that's when you're going to send that message out to the group and you're going to say, hey, you guys know I was looking at, I've been the one studying DraftKings, and DraftKings has just dropped to $40. It's a great chance to buy. And then we're going to ask, okay, so how long will it take to get to the point? And how much are you expecting it to go up? And from the 40, because you've done enough research on it, you may say, hey, it's only going to probably go back up to 45, but it was at 50. So what we're going to then do is know that we're going to get a contract and we're going to release it at 45. Now, Kevin and Griff will tell you that it's not a foolproof plan, because both of them will tell you that we tried that, of course, with DraftKings, was a perfect chance to buy when she was in the 50s and she dropped. However, if you look at the funny thing, Kevin, I don't know if you've been paying attention, DraftKings is, guess what, itching right back up to 50.
Yeah, I'm watching. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you know, it's one of those, you may not catch it at that time, but if you can catch a dip of it, it'll be great. So it's just a matter of how often and how when, as we go from there. And then, of course, that's when, excuse the typo, that's when you make the contact. And that's, of course, when you report it back to the group to let the group know that it'll be a chance, a perfect opportunity to buy. When you do that, I will release myself, passing it through Griff. I will release the option plays, or Griff will type it in, of which ones you should play if you decide to get in. Once you get in and have an identified play, then I'll be like, hey, listen, based on the dips that you guys identified, this would be a good option chain to get. Then you get those plays, and then again, it goes back to you. And then I'll even have how much you'll play and what your return is expected to be. Okay. Is everybody okay with that? I know maybe I moved a little bit too fast. I just kind of wanted to try to respect time and just make sure that everybody just gets this little small tidbit of information first.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so
I've been watching. I've been
good.
watching a lot of the education videos on the TDE trade. So when you're speaking, I'm really getting a lot of that from what they're saying, because it does show you a lot on how to go about setting up and just doing calls and stops and just so many good things that's on there. So thank you for reinforcing
Yeah, perfect. Thanks. So if we, and trust me, if we do that, you'll see an increase. But again, like I said, I don't want it to come across that I'm saying that this is a foolproof plan. It could move and drop. It just really depends on the actual stop itself. So using gap as an example, if it's me, anytime that gap itself at this moment, if gap drops to, let's say, okay, if gap dips to $29, you will get a text from me to tell you that's a buy. That's an easy option play to make on it. Okay. Now she drops to 29, and let's say I may tell you guys to say, hey, you can sell her at 35. Okay, because I know exactly where she's going to move back up to based on history and based on how the stock has itself moved. Now, again, all of this is taken in consideration, no negative news, no bad reporting. So like right now, Gap, I think, is at 33 or something like that or whatever. I think it's at 33. I'm not certain.
Jersey, what you got, Jersey? What gap at, Jersey?
Yeah, give me a minute, man. I'll take a look at it.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
It's 33.88.
Perfect. So 33.88. Now, Gap dropped earlier. I don't know if it was last week. I think it was last week. I can't remember the exact number. I don't know if it's at 32 or 31 when she dropped. I'm just going to say 31. I think she kissed 31, if I'm correct. That at that point when she dropped that low, it's a strong buy because I knew that she's going to get back up to 33 and potentially she's going to probably get up to 35 by the end of this week. However, here's the warning, and this is what I would have sent in a text message. Her earnings report is tomorrow. They're not expected to release positive numbers, so it may take a dip. If Gap takes a dip tomorrow, for example, and she goes from 33 to $30, you're going to see me send a text message and say, you better jump on at a $30 mark because she's going to go back up to 35 to possibly 37 within about 2 to 3 weeks. So then that's an easy option call for you to make a few dollars on, guaranteed, easy money, Griff. You know that, Griff, you already know what I said. Easy money. Easy money for you to make. You won't have anything to worry about because that's how that particular stock has moved. And my other boy, Kevin, to tell you, Gap is the one stock I have no worries at. So even if she drops, I'm not concerned about her because I know where she's going to go at. The other one that me and Griff was talking about, remember, Griff, what's the name of that? The one at two?
Etsy?
Not Etsy. What's the other one? The one you
Charge Point?
Not Charge Point.
Oh, no, okay, yeah, my other baby, Square.
Square. Okay, so Square is a perfect example. That's Griff baby. Square dropped, I think, at one point to like 199 or something.
197.
197. Okay, that's when we would receive that text because I called Griff and say, man, I gotta have this meeting because we losing out on a lot of money. Once Square dropped to 197, as a group, you're going to receive a message saying it's in the buy zone. Because that 197 for a stock itself that runs 225, Griff may go to 225, 250. Because where's that now? The 190, the squares, does anybody know? Because I don't have it in front of me. I mean, I can look. But Griff, you know what square is at?
I had the phone on mute. I'm talking. She's at 222.39. She opened up today at 218 and she ran to 222.39.
Perfect. So that one from that 197 we would have got that message out, it would have been posted, and from 197 we would have told everybody to sell probably at the 215, 217. You would have easily made about $5,000 to $6,000 off of that contract. Okay, because that's a big jump right there. And plus, remember, you would have had that contract there, and then you would have had the Gap contract where you would have made about $1,000. So you would have made just off of this network of what we will be doing we would have probably, as a group, each one of us would have walked out of here with about $6,000 for the month. But the thing is, we have to recognize the stock, and it has to be communicated to the group. If we don't do it, then it's nothing that we can do. But this is a perfect way for us to hit. Now, if each one of us, like I say, we can just even start with one. If each one of us identify that stock that we're going to look at, that we're going to send the information out on, and if all 8 of those stocks dip at one time, just imagine how much money we're going to make. Like, the market is going to see, you're going to probably see a nice little dip in a few stocks that kind of made it, that ran a little bit. So you're going to see a little bit of red coming up probably between either this week or early next week, just a little. So that may be the time where we may receive some text messages from the group stating that, hey, now would be a good time to buy this particular stock.
Hey, Buck, can I just
Pat.
interject real quick?
Yeah, talk to me.
Pastor Burrell has really great insight as it pertains to what we're trying to do. And at the end of the call, we're going to get your buy-in, buy-out. Maybe you might be saying, hey, this is a little more complicated. I want to buy out. No problem. Or maybe you might be saying, hey, listen, I like what's happening. I'm buying in.
Okay.
The point I was making was that Pastor Burrell had a thing going a few weeks ago where he had been watching the market do this particular thing, and it would happen in the pre-market, and then it would happen as soon as the market opened. Pretty much, Pastor Burrell, that format that you was doing, we talked about, I think I gave a lesson on SNS about patterns and trends. And that's what Pat is really talking about, is patterns and trends. A lot of us are familiar with sports. All we're saying is that we need to have a good team on the field. And if Jersey's assignment is just to block, we don't need Jersey trying to, get in the backfield and talking about he's finna run a sweep. If Connie's job is to call the play, we just want Connie calling plays. We don't want Connie trying to call a play and run the route. So it's if you're blocking, we just want you blocking, not tackling. So that's pretty much what we're trying to do here, and we just need more eyes on the field.
Right.
Is that adequate?
Yeah, Pat, quick ask for you, man. Maybe it'll be beneficial, for a lot of the folks on the call too, to put together just a 1-slide cheat sheet of like the buy signs, you know what I mean? The signals, you know what I mean? Because I think, we're all adults here. We understand the premise of what's going on, but I think what may be complicated to some folks that are not familiar with this is the process, right? Because you could look at a stock, like listening to what you said, a newbie will come in and say, well, the man said, look at the stock, keep an eye on the price. When the price go down, send a note, we jump on it. I think the missing piece is that understanding of what happened in the market, like what are the buy signs? What are the buy signals? You know what I mean? I think the signals is the piece that would trigger people to understand, okay, I need to react to this. Because stocks go up and down all the time. You know what I mean? And some of them are hard to catch because, like you said, they're volatile. But if we're looking at a particular stock, and if you know it and you're watching a pattern and you say, well, I know this stock, I know that it sits here, and if it goes down and there's no news, for a person that doesn't understand what happened, they may just be like, well, the stock went down, I better tell everybody. Well, what's going on? What may have driven it down? You know what I mean? Could it be a sell-off? Could it be the options? Could it be a lot of options and stuff that's out there that's driven it down? So maybe just a cheat sheet that gives people a little insight on, here are some of the things that, could have this stuff moving in either direction, just so people are familiar with it.
Oh, no.
I mean?
Definitely. What I'm going to do now is for those that this is just the introduction. That's why I said it won't be started. That's why I would say we won't even get started like this week, but this just to introduce the concept and getting the family together as one and just rolling out what the process is going to be. But from this call, those people, like a few of you guys will be already fine with it, and you pretty much have known the market well. The others I'll meet with, or we'll have another call or whatever privately, just like maybe the 3-4 of us, and I will kind of outline that one, and then they will have a practice guide in terms of, hey, practice with this one particular stock.
There you go.
Yeah, we gonna do it. No, we're gonna do it the right way now. We gonna do this as the championship caliber way. But what I want to do first, Kev, you're absolutely right. perfectly right. I just wanted to introduce the concept to everybody. I want to get to everybody on board to see if this is something that's doable first. So the way I like to work, Kevin, I like to work in like steps, and it takes me a little bit longer. Trust me, to do a lot of stuff. But I try
that's
to
the right way to do it.
Yeah, to make everybody comfortable. So step one is, if you're okay with this, this is what we're gonna do. Are you guys okay with this to do it? Are you feeling comfortable? Because you may not want to, you may not be in a position to say, hey, I don't really have the time to kind of look at a stock. I would rather somebody else do it. And that's fine. That's okay. Like, there's no harm involved. But the first thing is, I kind of want to roll out what the principle is and what it's gonna look like. Then we're gonna have another meeting with the group and whoever pretty much need it from this particular call, because everybody won't need it positively. It may only be 3 people. Then I'll work with them on like a training session, if you want to call it that, and say, I'm gonna break down all the research with you. We're gonna look at one together. We're gonna go through that one and do it. Then you'll be fine. Then they move to step 3, where it will be practice on your own. But that practice you're doing, you may not even send that to the group, but this is just something you get a feel for. Because if remember, they would need the recommendation for most stock brokers would tell you that's why that 10-day moving average is important. They would tell you that you should look at a particular stock before doing it anywhere between 10 to 20 days.
Yep,
So
exactly.
you're gonna have to look at it right now. This is not something that you do and say, hey, I'm ready to kind of do this in one day. Nah, it's a little bit more complicated than that, like what you were saying. But if we do like the 10-day, by that time, they would have looked at it, they would have done the history, they would understand what they're looking for. And then you start looking at that 10-day moving average, you understand it, then you'll feel more confident to say, hey, I've already practiced it. Now I'm ready to release that information to the group. But a few of us who are already on the call, we do this anyway, Kev, where we may talk about something that's at a dip, and like say, hey, this would be a good buy zone right now. And we may still, we're gonna pretty much already be working on this now. But I'm always thinking about family. I want to make sure that if I'm not the only one eating, I want everybody else to eat as well. So I just want to make sure that the concept is okay with people, and they're okay with being on a group text first, and they're okay with just watching. Like I said, they can just watch one stock. Now you have your other stocks in your portfolio, not saying for you to neglect anything. Eventually, you're going to be studying one of these closely, because that one stock will be the difference of you making a few dollars per each month.
Right. Nah, that's good stuff, man. I mean, you own it. And like you mentioned, man, the importance of these types of things with family, man, is, from my perspective, is each one teach one. You know what I mean? So the education piece is important, because when we all talk about that generational wealth, Tim and I talk about this, man. One of the worst things that you could do is generate that wealth for a group of people, and you're not educating those people. Yeah, and you leave somebody who doesn't understand how to manage money. You leave somebody $2, $3, $4, $5 million. You've just destroyed your chain of wealth, because those people are not going to understand how to continue to chain. You know what I mean? So all of this knowledge that we taking in right now, you know what I mean, is beneficial to the point where we all want to be able to take this and teach the next one. You know what I mean? So that they can continue to do it, man. So this is you want it. You know what I mean? You want it.
And then everybody will see how this group grow. Like I said, I should have had one of my boys from the other group kind of tell you how it is. And but they're a little bit further along, because they're veterans. Like they're perfect, like they're ideal. But they'll tell you how successful they are. But they're a little bit more involved with a lot of it. And I can't, sometimes I have a hard time keeping up with them, because they on it constantly. They send messages all the time. They can be ridiculous with it. But that's what ended up happening, because you will get so much information from just the group. And this will be a little bit different from, like I say, your SNS, because then eventually we become the circle that began to train certain members in each of your SNS. So then you would go, Kevin, one day, and you would say, hey, listen, I'm going to train them on the section that I did on my particular stock and how I researched it. And then that will be a topic for the Sunday. Then you'll have another person, Miss Connie, will have her topic for discussion. And then we'll kind of rotate it like that. Then all of a sudden they have it. And then, of course, they spread it, and we keep going from there. But for the first few, for everybody, the veterans will Griff going to set up the calls if everybody's okay with that. And the veterans will send out a few plays. Just the veterans first, to kind of show you how it would work. And then you could If you want to put in it, you can. You don't have to. We're not going to tell you how much. But if we see a contract tomorrow that's like $18, we may say, hey, put the play in if you have a free $18, not promising that you're going to make a ton of money off of it, but just to kind of get you to make a couple of plays off of it, get you familiar, and then eventually you'll kind of lug in. So for now, we just going to kind of carry a train and we all ride together for now. Then eventually you'll be the conductor.
Pat,
Absolutely.
I have a question. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's going to require a couple of us to switch our thought process and our strategy, because this is Dana. What I was doing every week, I was, dollar cost averaging, and I'm purchasing and building my positions. So now with the options, adding to this strategy, what monies should I have in reserve to be able to take advantage of these options?
So that's why I said in the beginning, I'm not going to tell you. The one thing I won't do is say, hey, put aside a percent. I never tell anyone to do that. What I would say is, that's why I'm saying when I put out, or Griff put it out, we may tell you that there's a good chance to buy something. Something has dropped. It costs $15 right now. Just make up a price. Or let's say 10. Something has dropped to $10, right? Now, you may not even have that stock in your portfolio. Because remember, think about it this way, because I don't want you to think that you're going to be doing anything different. You're doing the same exact thing that you normally would do. The only thing that you're going to do differently is, to a degree, is that you're going to just listen out for these particular stocks that we're going to give you. You wouldn't, if Miss Connie give you a stock, you may not necessarily have to even put that in your watch list, because she's already watching it for you. You don't have to even worry about it. So she may give you a stock of Wish, right? And let's say Wish is at $10 right now, and then it drops to $5. She sends out a call to the group and say, hey, this would be a good chance to buy it, blah, blah, blah. Did all the research. It can go back up to about $8 in a week. Now, the call that you get from us, or the text you get from us, will say, hey, this would be a great chance to buy it. It's going to cost you $20. It may cost you $30. We're not going to give you any contracts that's going to cost you $300, $400, $500. Nah, very cheap and expensive. 18, 20, 30, 40. And then we will maybe make a recommendation, say, just buy one. Just buy one. It's not for you to put in a lot of extra money, just something else. But because you're getting that stock at $5, and if she runs back up to 10, that one option call that you just purchased at maybe 18 may result to you having $400 or $500 at the end of that week on a stock that you already was purchasing anyway, or maybe you didn't even have it. So you're not doing, I don't want you to think you're doing anything different. Nothing different. It's just maybe a few dollars that you have that you may say, hey, you know what? I'm doing this, but it's a $20 play. And then the other sweet thing about this, you don't have to jump on every call that we're going to suggest. So if we make a call and say, hey, to purchase this, we may really say, okay, don't buy it. This is just something that we're giving just because we're watching it for you, or a group is watching it for you.
Yeah, and Dana, this Kev, man.
I love the idea. I'm in. I just want to be ready. I'm in.
Hey, listen, Dan, you will. You trust me. All it is, it like right now, it may seem like a lot, but the only thing I want you to walk away with, just one at a time, is one, are you willing to do it, to be a part of this team? That's one. If you're saying yeah, then you've already got every box circled right now. I mean, every box is checked right now if you have that part first. The other things we're going to give you in time, but we want to make sure that we have the team set up, because we're going to start sending text messaging out. And, soon, I just want to make sure that we have permission and everybody's okay with it, and they just kind of understand how we're going to work as a team. That's all. That's just the first part to go right now.
I'm in it to win it.
That's all. Hey, that's all I need there.
Yes, sir.
Is there any? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I missed somebody.
I was going to say, let them know what an option play consists of.
Yeah, we're gonna get, thanks, Kev. We're gonna get through that one with them. That individual. What I want to do, Kev, like I said, just want to get everybody to see if they all on board, because we're gonna have to go through. That'll be another thing that we'll have to do that training with. And Kevin, I have you join in some of the sessions as well, and you'll do those. This is my Kevin. So sorry, not you, Jersey. But,
okay. I was about to say, hey man, that wasn't me. That wasn't me, Pat.
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
Yeah. So me and my Kevin, we'll also do some option trainings on that as well for the newbies, and we'll get you up to speed on that just to kind of give you an explanation of it. And we'll take care of all of that stuff in time. I just want to make sure that we have a family and we have the first official group that we can set up and that Griff can set up. Is there anybody have any objections? Everybody's good so far?
Yes, I'm fine on this.
Okay.
All in, we good.
Perfect. So then, so what you can do is like go to step 2. Now that you have that, we're going to be all in. Just think about it. You don't have to provide an answer now. Think about it. If there's one stock in particular that you know very well right now, I'm not saying that you don't have to do anything, no research right now, but maybe there's a stock that you've been looking at for a time or two. Just have that stock in mind and write it somewhere, whatever, scribble it, whatever, type whatever, because eventually when we come together, after you do your research and do more digging, and we'll work on that, that'll be the stock that you're going to focus on. And just pick one for now. The other experience may do 2, but you can just pick one for now. And that's just something for you to think about as we go in time. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, we good.
Perfect.
What about do we get buy-ins from Harp or Burrell or
Griff, I've already stated my participation. I'm in.
okay? Gotcha.
So
Pastor
Griff,
Harper?
when everybody's in, you're going to just set up that phone tree log for us, so we'll have it.
Right, Pastor Harper, is he still on?
Yeah, I'm here, but my wife hijacked me, guys, and so I'm gonna have to actually look at the recording.
Okay.
But I'm in. Yes, I'm definitely in. I did hear that part.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we got buy-ins from everybody. Buck.
Okay, perfect. So then what I need from you to do is send out because you have everybody's number, you can just send us an introductory. So that way at least everybody have that group. At least I know I would have it saved so I can have that stored into my another group. So that way we know that when we get that message, it's coming from this particular family. I don't even know what our name is. We can be the founding father. I don't know, but you will have that group, your Sunday night stock group, the members of the committee, whatever. So that's going to be our little small trades that we make, for just that little spare income to come in.
Right. Give me, can you have your Kevin give me his number? What's his number?
786-797-3930.
I don't know, Kevin. That don't sound like the right number.
I have 2 numbers, man.
I'm just messing with you anyway. I don't remember numbers. So then, yeah, Griff, if you send out that text, we'll at least have everybody set up on that connection group. And then now that we got everybody, then it's like I said, everybody step 2 will just identify that one stock that they want to watch. And that's all you got to do. And then every meeting, we will have just a list or a direction of what you have to do so you don't feel overwhelmed. But just right now, if you walk away from here, just say that you had 2 boxes and you've already checked the 2 boxes. You was an agreeing participant, 1, and then the second one, you're thinking about it or you've already identified the one stock that you're going to watch.
Right. It could be that stock that you really like.
Oh, okay. My quick question was, that one stock should be something other than our major 15 that we already dealing with.
If you want that to be, if you want to use that one, that's fine. You can use the one that you already have for your major 15. That's fine.
Okay.
It's whatever. That's why I say it's something that I want you to feel comfortable with right now. You may not want to, because you may not right now, you're doing this for the first time. You may not want to dig into a brand new stock that you really don't know, because I'm assuming from this 15 that you guys already have, most of them you already know very well. I'm guessing without having the conversation. So then the research may be a little bit easier if you have to dig into it and just watching it. So once you have that one and you identify that stock that you're going to look at, we'll probably come around on Saturday or whenever, or we'll just probably post it as a text message instead of meeting. And then you'll text out, hey, this is the stock that I'll be watching for future reference. And we'll go from there. And then you'll see how the process will work. And be a nice opportunity for everybody, guaranteed.
Right, because the question was raised, one of our members raised the question on Sunday, and the question was raised that, you know, hey, I know we're building generational wealth, but I want to make some quick money like right now. I want to make some extra money, you know, like right now, and this is definitely another way to do some swing stuff that you can also make sure that you always have some dry powder, because you'll be making money doing this. And then the other thing me and Buff talked about is, like, say for instance, Miss Connie comes up and she say, hey, listen, I've been watching DraftKings. DraftKings right now is like at, you know, $45, but DraftKings dropped to $25. I think DraftKings is perfect for, you know, us to put an option in. And maybe we look at it, and maybe Connie had a blind side, because it's not like when you bring a stock, we all gonna just jump and buy it. No, right. The team is gonna discuss it. So maybe Pastor Burrell say, yeah, Connie, the reason it dropped like that is because the CEO was found with his hand in the cookie jar, and he's got arrested on charges. Oh, for real? And, you know, so we'll have more eyes looking at it. And then once we divvy it up, then we may say, all right, yeah, we're gonna put an option in on that one. That's a good play. So it's not like once you bring a stock, you bring your stock that you're watching, you know, that we're gonna just jump on it and put an option in on it right there.
Right, exactly.
I tell you what, Tim, that man got his hand caught in the cookie jar and that stock drop. I'm definitely jumping in, because that ain't got nothing to do with the company. That stock gonna get back up there. But that's a good point. But that stock is gonna get back where it needs to be, because it's a solid company. But this is good stuff, Pat. I mean, we've been talking about this stuff for a while. So me, you, and Tim, we already, you know, we in the mix already. But I think it's a beautiful thing, man, to bring a larger, you know, group together, right, and form just another team to be able to do this specifically, because it's helpful.
Right. So even, and then like I said, this is why I say it's funny, because this is where we could have made even a lot of money. So let's take SNDL. All right. So SNDL, let's say it would have dropped when it dropped to what, 70 something cents. That's when we would have received a message from the group to say, hey, you know, it's at 70 plus cent. This may be a option play, not for a week, but maybe for a long time, because it's probably going to go up to 80 cents. But because SNDL is so cheap, you're not looking at spending $400 or $500. You could do like SNDL, looking at something like that, its prices. I'm trying to scan it right now real quick, but you probably could do something like that because of its price range for maybe like $10 or $12 for one. So for something like that, you know, and you say you only got to go up to maybe like 90 cents or something like that, it would have been worth to do that, to at least have the information to know that this would be really good for us. So just looking at it right now, they have plays, just as an example, and I'm not saying about it, this is the reason why we would talk, but they have an SNDL play to get up to $1.53 at $3. And, you know, I'm not saying it's going to go to 3. I would not tell anybody, dude. I think that's a bad.
I'm throwing nothing away. What are you talking about?
But at $3, because it's so small, that's where you get that information and you pose it out. You may say, hey, for $3, I'll buy it for $3 just to see what will happen. And that's when we will have a conversation and maybe like, nah, that's a little bit too high, and then we throw it out. But those are just some things that you can look at and hope.
Yeah, now that's good stuff, man. Let me just say this real quick, Tim. Pat, that part, you've got a proven process already. That's the one thing that the group should understand, that Pat been doing this for a while and he's got a proven process. The one piece that I want to add in real quick to both of y'all is once you get this stuff going, like you said, Pat, you don't never guaranteeing this or that, but there's positivity. But once you get this thing going, what ends up happening is you're going to quickly create, what they call leverage and liquidity. You know what I mean? So as Pat is saying, let's look at the sundial. It's real cheap. You can dive in. It's not going to cost you too much. Once we've been doing this for about a 6-month period, you are going to have liquidity in your account and leverage to now get into a lot more plays and be able to get into stronger plays. So I think that's an important piece. I know I'm kind of forecasting out a little bit, Pat, but that's the intention of this, man, is getting yourself to where we've made. I mean, imagine coming into the game with, let's say, $500, and then we do a couple plays, and then the next thing you know, a month and a half from now, man, I made $6,000. Exactly. You've now created liquidity and a lot more leverage, Right. So now when these plays come up, instead of buying 2 option contracts,
right,
you're able to buy 10 option contracts.
Exactly.
And it's not going to hurt your pocket because you're already positive, $5,500. So right. you're leveraging house money at that point. So that's the beauty in this stuff. Once we get going and you start getting on the positive side of that liquidity, it's a beautiful thing.
And then, so, and Jerry, Kevin, that's where I was like adding on to it. You have that money, you go buy a SNDL, you go buy you 100 contracts. And again, not saying it's going to get to $1.50. I don't want anybody to leave his phone saying I say it's going to get to $1.50 in a couple of weeks, but it costs you $300. So then, but you've made $6,000. So then you may sit down and say, hey, listen, stranger things have happened. Their balance sheet is clean. They look good. They have some of the analysts, even now the analysts are talking about it's a good time to buy it because it's saying it has a chance to go up. I don't think it's going up no $1.50 right now instantly, but I'm just saying, as a conversation, you may just say, you know what, I made 6,000. I don't mind taking 300 and I'm out if I lose 150. Exactly. Then if that stock gets up to about $3-4 on a nice run because of Reddit or because of some hype, because it's very inexpensive, you would have taken that 100 contracts will bring you over 6 figures.
Yep.
So now you're 6 figures strong. That only costed you $300,
which is crazy.
It's very crazy. Not saying that that's going to happen, but remember, you're going to have so many more contracts in it, and so that's where the goal of it is for us to hit, and then we can take some stronger plays and make more money with it.
Right. Go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry, man. You was going to say something. I wanted to make sure I got that out.
No, I was pretty much just wanted to piggyback off what Pastor Burrell said, and then I got a text from one of the group members, which was a great suggestion as it pertains to with the training assignment, Buff. If out of our 15 root stocks that we have, we pre-assign one of those stocks as a training aid. You know what I'm saying? And then we go in. We got those 15 stocks that we've been buying dips. We're trying to get up to our 125 shares, those particular stocks. And maybe we just use one of those as the training aid.
Perfect. I'm right. I just wrote that down. I'm writing it down right now. All right. Awesome. Yeah, not a problem. All right. So we good. And so just let me know, Tim, if you can find out who would need those little extra little trainings on that, on, like I said, analyzing the options. And then that way I can go ahead and me and my man will go ahead and get that started, pretty quickly, or we'll just find some time to kind of do that within the next week or two.
Yes, sir.
All right. So people, we should be good with that. That's pretty much all I have. Like I said, I just want to make sure everybody's on board and help everybody. I just felt bad. I kind of keep losing all this money out. And I was telling my boy, Kevin, like, man, I can't keep losing money out like this when there's just so many plays that we're familiar with, but because it's a lot of stocks out there, just didn't have the chance to look at it and totally forgot all about it. It was like, oh, you know what? I wish somebody would have reminded me on it because I just forgot totally. So Be a good chance for us to have more eyes on them. And then Tim, while I got everybody on here, again, everybody watch Gap. Gap has its earnings tomorrow. Tomorrow after I think it's after hours. So it's going to be very interesting. So what you could have is it's a gamble. Again, I'm not expecting good numbers. Most of the analysts are expecting low numbers. So that stock may drop. If it drops, you'll probably hear a text or get a text from us, and we're just gonna say it's a beautiful day to buy. If it drops a little bit, I'm not expecting to go up, but sometimes people fudge numbers, and if they fudge the number, then she's gonna go up to about 38. So just so you can have a range, if they fudge the numbers, she'll go up to 38. If they don't fudge it and she produces some negative results, she's gonna probably drop down to about 32 to 31. And she may even on Friday touch 30 at some point before she go back up. And if she touched 30 at some point, great buy, because then you're gonna get $6 up, especially towards the end of the month when Kanye releases and off the hype and information, you're gonna get a $6 run up. So it'll be easy money for everybody. So that's all I wanted to make sure I got. Griff, that's all I got. I ain't keep the people too long. I ain't want to get eggs thrown at me.
Let me share this bit of information.
Yeah.
A subsidiary of Gap called Athleta, ATHLETA, has signed Simone Biles, the world's #1 gymnast, that dynamic soul sister. So that's only going to increase what Gap is going to do.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. So the summer the summer for Gap looks really, really promising. I think that's gonna be a good one for everybody. That's the one I'm giving all my guarantees out. So all right, Griff. So I'm good with everything like that. We got all the people, you got everything set up. So I think we're good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, everybody, I'm glad you all were able to join the call. We wanted Pastor Barrow to be on, but he probably was at work. He didn't get a chance to get on. So what I'll do is I'll send him out the recording. That's why we recorded it, so he can view it and we can get his buy-in. But definitely, I think this is going to be something great. It's going to help us in our individual purposes, and it's going to help us to create that kind of generational wealth that we want to create. As well, so as we got a lot of more eyes on the plays. And when you got a lot of more eyes on the plays and you're watching different things, it makes for a great team. And that's what we're trying to create with this inner circle from SNS. So that's all we have. We'll set up another Zoom meeting so that we can have that training. If you want to take one of the 15 root stocks and use that as a guide to see the patterns and the trends. So when we do come back, we can talk about it and you can give your buy-in, or by all means, or if you got another stock, it may be Costco. That may be something else that you may be looking at. So whatever it is, whichever stock you want to discuss when we come back, have at it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, this is nothing we're looking to, start right away. We just want everybody to kind of get comfortable with it. All right.
Hey, Doc, can I pass on the final joke for this is joke for everybody? Well, Doc, I gotta make you laugh with this one, Doc. I was talking to a man, he's a doctor, and he hilariously tells me, say, hey man, I got a great stock for you, man. I said, okay, man, shoot. He said, man, you need to buy about 200 or 300 of these, maybe 500 if you can. Great stock. And guess what he told me to buy, Doc?
What did he tell you?
He told me to buy Chipotle. Remember I told you about Chipotle price? I said, buy 500 of that. Man. Yeah, I say, man, Joker. Man, he like, oh, man, you could buy about 500. I'm like, goodness gracious. I'm thinking he was going to tell me about one of them little cheap stock. He's like, man, go buy Chipotle. I'm like, okay.
Right. That's funny, Pat. Pastor Burrell, I would like to assign you DraftKings. And the reason I'm assigning you DraftKings is because Well, that's Pat's Buff's baby, and I've been watching it too, so we can kind of give you some pointers on that. So that's ticker symbol DKNG.
Got it, Griff.
Okay. I don't have anything further. If anybody got any questions before we get ready to sign off? Any questions? Dana, Pastor Harper, Bishop, any comments?
Great meeting.
Tim, yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, great meeting. I think the opportunity is going to meet the moment, and practice will help us to perfect the moment. And with all this information and techniques, we should be well positioned to take advantage of the opportunity. So, hey guys, I'm all in. Thank you, Buff. Thank you, Griff. Let's make it happen.
Definitely. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Definitely. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, we always like to open in prayer. We missed that one, so we'll close in prayer, and we'll ask Servant Dana if he could close us out, and we'll let you know when the next meeting is.
All right. Father, we just thank you so much for your awesomeness and who you are. We thank you for your many wonderful blessings, all that you have done, all that you're doing, and what you're about to do. We just thank you for this awesome body, these men who thought it not robbery to share and to grow our containers of knowledge. And you said, focus on these things and we will make our way prosperous. And so we just thank you for standing on your word. And we just thank you. We can't thank you enough. And so, God, as we take on this strategy, this new opportunity, go with us, bless us, keep us, guide us. You said a good man, a good woman's steps are ordered by the Lord. So we're asking for order, and we just thank you for the direction that we're in. And I just pray that each and every one of us will prosper and that we will set up the generational wealth. I like the words of Kevin, speaking those things that be not as though they are, that in 6 months we will be, and we're going to be, and we already are millionaires, and we're building generational wealth. And so, God, and let us be mindful to be sowers into your kingdom, because you said, give and it shall be given back to us. And so, God, help us to be givers and keep us, guide us, and protect us. In Jesus' name we pray, and we say amen and amen.
Amen. Amen. All
Amen.
right, everybody. All right, family. Have a great week.
Take care.
All right. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Buff.
No problem.